For the next 30 days, I'm going to be discussing how I didn't know that I was in survival mode. I didn't know that I was living in autopilot. And living in autopilot and survival mode is one and the same. For the past 3 years, in my transition of moving from another state, and my life changing, of me losing my mother and my sister and my aunt, my uncle, and my cousin, just me losing the rest of the family that was for me, that loved me unconditionally. See, I told myself that I was strong because I was just living. I was currently staying with a family member when I first moved here until I moved into my own home as I went into training for work to take care of my kids. And in that time, I felt like I had to suppress everything. I felt like I had to put everything to the bottom so I could survive the day. And for me, that was functioning. That was me living. But actually, it was me in survival mode, and I didn't even know what survival mode was at that time. I felt like well, I did. That's what I needed to do at that time. But I didn't know what was happening until I started having these panic attacks and anxiety. And I couldn't understand, like, why am I having these panic attacks and why am I anxious? It was because I was suppressing too much. And my nervous system began to let me know that it was time to release. It was time for me to live in what I was going through in order for me to heal. And I thought me healing was me suppressing it and pushing it to the bottom and not worrying about it and trying not to think about it. And every time I would hear my mom's name, I would lose my whole mind. And that's when you had them people that you thought had your back begin to talk about you behind your back and kick your back in and call you crazy. And it just felt like the world was turning against me. And if that makes me crazy, then so be it. I'm crazy. Because I wasn't going to sit up and take it anymore. But all of that holding it in, all of me not speaking up for myself, all of me not facing head on to the people head on that what was going on in my life gave me anxiety, gave me to push me to have these panic attacks. I want you to know, when you are in a trauma, when you are going through something, don't be this way. You have to live. And even for me, it pushed me into knowing that it was time for me to heal, but not at that time. When I moved out, I still was in survival mode because who was going to take care of my kids but me? But the pressure and the explaining I had to do all the time. I have a special needs son. I shouldn't have to explain why I'm explaining to you how to take care of my son. It just, and I'm not going to get all into details with that because we're in a new year and we're starting anew. But I'm just here because I want to walk you through some things. I don't want you to sit there and suffer. It took a minute for me to realize what I needed to do for myself to heal. So I'm here now to cut out that middleman and to let you know you have to live in your feelings. You have to feel it. If it takes for you to close yourself off from the world, and I know people say don't do that, but if This is what you need to do to heal. This is what you must. Some people don't have people that they can talk to about anything, because at this moment in my life I have no one that I can go and talk to and safely feel comfortable enough to know it's going to stay with them. I have no safe place to speak. So right now I speak to my God. I speak to myself, and I speak to my pen and my paper, and then I come on here and I speak to you. God brought me. He will take you through some things. He will take you through some things to get you where you need to be. And he has taken me through some things, and I was mad. I was angry. Like, why? Why would you take the only people that love me away? It wasn't till I realized that I was living in survival mode, until I started my healing journey to understand why he did all of the things he did. Why did he start to bring to light in my face that who needed to go? He will bring you to, God will let you know. God will force you. Yes, that's it. God will force you into some things that you don't want to realize. When you're living in autopilot, that's not peace. See, when you live in an autopilot, when you live in a survival mode, you don't feel things. You don't feel overwhelmed. So to you, you feel like you're fine. You feel like you done got through this, until, yeah, your nervous system and your mind, your body, and your soul let you know that you have not. See, you don't expect much from people anymore. You don't argue. You don't stress over things anymore. And to you, you feel like, I'm doing okay. Until you hit rock bottom, until you hit that point that you have no other choice but to heal. And that was me. I had no other choice but to heal myself through this. And I'm still healing, because I still have these moments, but I don't stay there. So that's the beauty of living in autopilot, in survival mode, and rebuilding who you are. And that's where I come from. That's where identity reset. The identity reset ebook came from, because I started to write, and then I started to bring myself to the point of knowing that it was time for me to heal, and time for me to get out of survival mode and all them feelings. I say all of that to say, when you're in survival mode on the autopilot, you're just emotionally protecting yourself. And it's okay. It's okay to live in autopilot. It's okay to be in survival mode, but I just don't want you to stay there. And some of us stay too long, and they begin to have these panic attacks and anxiety, as I did. You stay too long, and it forces yourself to come up out of it. So today is Wisdom Drop Wednesday. I don't want you to stay too long in autopilot. I don't want you to stay too long in survival mode. I want you to download this Identity Reset ebook. I want to help you rebuild yourself from survival mode. I know many of us, we mistake our numbness for peace. You're not crazy. You're just adapting. Let's continue to grow and heal together.